You're listening to this week's episode of the Vacation Rental Business in Today's World podcast. You're about to start transforming your business and life with the information found here. We interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in the vacation short-term rental industry and supporting businesses. The information found here is a combination of brain science, transformational thinking, safety and loss prevention, and vacation short-term rental knowledge and experiences, all rolled into one to help you and your business to achieve levels you never thought possible. I am glad you are here, and now please welcome your host, Eric Thibodeaux.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Safer VRs. I'm Eric Thibodeaux, and I'm your host. I hope you enjoyed last week's podcast. It was about, is safety in your identity? I really enjoyed doing that podcast as it really helped think about some of the issues that we have and how safety is part of your identity and who you are. As a follow-up to that this week, I wanted to talk a little bit about the topic of looking and seeing. I know maybe you're thinking, well, looking and seeing is really the same thing, and it's not. And we're going to talk about it at two different levels here. So we were out doing a review at a property, and it was me and a couple other people, and we were looking at the property. And basically I came back and said, hey, did you see the tripping hazards on the walkway? And the person said, no, I didn't see that. I was looking at the different things around the property, but I didn't see it. So sometimes we are looking at something, like I'm looking at the wall, or I'm looking at traffic, or I'm looking at people in the mall, or I'm looking at a property. And when I do that, it's probably more in a general sense. However, when I'm seeing something, I'm focused. I'm paying attention to certain things. I am aware of those particular areas that I'm wanted to take a look at. So I'm seeing a trip hazard. Why am I seeing a trip hazard? Because I'm aware that they could be present. And so when I'm seeing, basically, my reticular activating system in my brain looks for potential safety hazards, because safety is in my identity. So I'm seeing the hazard, really. I'm really taking a look at it. Another example would be, we bought a property earlier this year, me and some investors, and I went to the property. It was probably February, and I was doing a review of the property, and I was really looking at the property. I was looking at the condition. I was looking at what I needed to do to make repairs. And I was looking at bigger issues. I was looking at lighting. I was looking at flooring. I was looking just furniture, the general sense of everything. And then later someone came up to me and said, hey, Eric, did you see that there were no door stops behind all the doors to prevent, the doorknob from hitting the wall? And I said, I didn't see that. I said, what was wrong with me? And I realized quickly that I was not seeing these type of issues. I was really in a looking mode. I was scanning. I was looking at bigger issues. And I really wasn't seeing through, let's say, all the clutter and all the issues to identify this particular issue. However, I could have gone through the property again, and maybe been more focused, and maybe I would have seen these particular issues. And we got those fixed. But you can quickly now see, no pun intended, how there is a difference between looking and seeing in the physical way. I'm looking at properties. I'm looking at hazards. I'm looking, but I may not really be seeing what I need to see. And so I call that like layer one. Here's the second layer. And I'm going to preface it with a statement that hopefully we'll talk some more about. It says, am I looking or seeing? These are two different things, as we've spoken about. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'll say that again. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so this could be you, and this could be how you're looking at your business, how you're looking at how you're managing safety in your business. So this is a little bit deeper level. I'm not looking or seeing things in a property, or I'm not looking at a particular hazard. I could be, but now I'm really analyzing, and maybe I'm looking at how is safety in my identity? What's my beliefs? And when you change the way you look at things, things you look at change. So with that, I'll have to ask, how are you looking at safety in your business? How are you looking at safety training for your employees and guidance for your contractors? How are you looking at vehicle safety? How are you looking at physical checks and what I call safer VR checks at your properties that you're managing? Are you checking? Are you looking at these things? And now we're not talking about the physical looking, because when I'm looking and then seeing at layer one, this is really, as we spoke about last week, this is a doing activity. I'm doing these activities. As I talked about the tripping hazards that I recognized, and then later the door stops that I missed, that would prevent the doors from tearing up the sheetrock or the walls. That's layer one. That's all doing. Now we're at layer two, is what I call it, layer two, and I'm really looking at who I'm being in this case. And who am I being in my business? And when I start looking at and trying to see what I am being, you're going to start saying, hey, how am I really looking at safety in my business? How am I being safe? How am I guiding my employees to be safe? Or better said, how am I requiring my employees to be safe? How am I managing these properties for my owners and guests so they are going to be safe? And as you start to look at these things will change over time. You'll start to become aware, and then you'll start to understand. And then you'll start to begin to see, what are your beliefs and what are you doing? And probably the most important thing that comes with looking and seeing things that you would like to change, you have the choice. This is probably one of the more important things that we miss in life, is everything in our life is a choice. If you don't like how your life is going, or how your business is going, or how your safety performance in your business is going, take a look at the choices that you've made. This is really important. You made these choices. 100% responsible, 100% of the time is how we look at this in this vein. What am I doing or not doing? And as I start to look at these things and I look at my choices in this layer two way, then I start to think about, what am I looking at? How does it need to change? And what exactly do I need to do to change? Or what do I need to do to become stronger at this particular skill? Now you're starting to be who you need to be. And you're not running around like I was doing in the first couple of examples of just doing. Everybody is doing. Very few people are being. And this gives you the opportunity to stop and look at, how are you looking at safety in your business? Is safety part of your identity? And then what are you seeing? I sure would like to hear some feedback about what you're seeing and how you're being, and your thoughts around safety in your business. So today is not that long of a podcast. It's really short. I would really request that you take a look at your choices, take a look at this layer two and how you're being and how you're looking at things, and what are the things you need to change, and how are you managing safety. As always, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your feedback. You can find me at safervrs.com, Eric at safervrs.com. You can find me on LinkedIn or join my Facebook group, Safer Vacation Rentals. And we're still looking for individuals to join us in our Awakening Vacation Rental Member Safety Membership Founding Member Launch. So those 10 to 20 people that are going to help shape this program, look at the information I've presented. And really what I've been talking about today is part of it. It's what I consider transformational thinking. It's really about our mindset and our beliefs and our identity that drives all the other doing. Everyone else wants to talk about how we're doing things, and we can talk about that, as we mentioned last week. However, this is where we need to focus, because it will drive everything else in our life and our business. I hope you're doing well. Look forward to hearing from you. Go out and create a safe day. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Safer VR's podcast with Eric Thibodeaux. If you enjoy this, I would love you to join my Facebook group, The Safer Vacation Rentals, for more of the same. You can also join our email list at www.safervrs.com.